So let's look at an example, right? We said 15 appointments per week. That is a non-negotiable. 15 appointments per week. Now, let's say you're investing 200 bucks a week in leads, right? I kind of went middle of the road. So 200 bucks a week on leads. What would that look like? I'm going to break this up on a monthly basis because I think sometimes this just helps the brain. So let's first talk about our lead investment. And I want to emphasize this word, investment. This is not an expense. Expenses do not have a return. Investments have a return. We have a return on these, okay? There's a reason that we do this. We invest a little, we get a bigger return back. Otherwise, this wouldn't work. This wouldn't work if it didn't work out that way. So this is an investment that you're making. So lead investment, let's look at this. So if you do $200 per week, what does that look like per month? $800 per month. Investment in leads. Non-negotiable working business expense. You get to write this off on your taxes too, so hooray, that makes it better. 15 appointments per week. Let's break that down per month. 15 per week equals what? 60 per month on average, right? On a 4-week month. Now let's look at this. This is very much low end of the average. Okay, so these aren't pie in the sky numbers, you guys. This is very much what happens with brand new agents first couple of weeks here. Okay, so let's say you got a 50% show rate, which is pretty normal for brand new agents. Eventually you get to have a 60, 75, sometimes higher. But in the beginning, if you're just trying to figure this out, 50% show rate is very common. Okay, so if you're talking to 60, if you got 60 appointments booked per month, how many are you actually sitting with per month at a 50% show rate? Feel free to use the chat. Math is hard. 50% of 60, 30 sits per week. Per month, I'm sorry, per month. Okay? Now, brand new agents make an average of a 30% conversion. That means out of 10 people that you talk to, you're going to stumble into writing 3 applications. That's what we've seen here over the last, since 2009 when we started. Okay, 30% conversion for brand new agents. This does get better. You do get better, and this does increase. But in the beginning, when you don't know anything, this is the most common that we see. Okay, so if you're sitting with 30 appointments per month, what's 30% of 30? Sure, my math's right. 9. So you're making 9 sales. You're taking 9 applications per month. The average APV per sale right now is $1,200. And actually not right now, it's been that way since I can remember. But I'm going to use 1,000 for easy math. Okay, so let's say average APV per app, 1,000. So that means you're averaging 9,000 APV per month. Now everyone starts off here at 80%. So if you're writing 9,000 and you're making 80% of that, that means your earnings $7,200 per month, commission earned. But what happens? Carrier advance. If I could type, that would be helpful. 75% carrier advance. So that means that your deposits are $5,400. So 75% of $7,200 is $5,400. Now, if we look at this as a business owner, because that's what we are, gross earnings, $5,400, subtract out our lead spend of $800 per month, right? That comes up from up here. What does that equal? A net profit per month. $4,600 net profit per month. This is in the beginning, you guys. This is brand new agents. First couple of weeks here. If you don't get any better than this, which if you're doing this every week, you will get better. Like you cannot help but get better, right? Like you cannot help but become a better swimmer the more times you're in the pool. That just is how it goes. But let's say you don't. Let's say you don't get any better than this. This is your average, day in, day out, week in, week out. How many people this is more than they'd make in a month before? For me, it was. This is more than I made in a month in my last job. Annual profit. This every single month, 55,200. But wait, what did we forget? Back pay. So we said before, our commissions are 7,200 a month, right? We said that right here. Total out of the 9,000 APB we wrote, 7,200. What's 7,200 by 25%? Right? We already got paid our 75% advance. What about the rest? What does that look like per month? $1,800 that is on back pay that we're going to get in months 10, 11, and 12 of that policy year. Annually, back pay, $21,600. Again, if you don't get any better. So what does that look like really? We've got 21,600 plus 55,200, 76,800 annual earnings. All if nothing improves over a year. If you have a 50% show rate and a 30% conversion rate, and you book 15 appointments per week for 52 weeks, this is what would happen. There's money to be made here. This is not biased. It doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter any sort of prior experience. You know what matters? This and this. What part of this is controllable? This and this. So if you want to make this and above, this and this every single week. That is the key. Now, here's something I want to address really quick. Do we think that averages work as every single week you are going to write precisely the same amount of business? Every single week you book 15 appointments, you're going to sit with 50% of them like clockwork? No, that's not how the averages work, right? Some weeks you're going to book 15 appointments and sit with 0. Some weeks you're going to book 15 appointments and sit with 10. Some weeks you're going to be somewhere in the middle. That's why averages work the way that they do. So that's why 6 weeks needs to be the timeline. 6-week evaluation. You do 6-week averages because you're going to have one killer week, you're going to have one awful week, and you're going to have 2 average weeks. And it's going to keep cycling through. We don't know when those are going to happen. And guess what? For a lot of agents, the first week is an awful week, and that's okay. But where a lot of people stop and don't let this opportunity come full circle is after week 1 or 2 when they don't make all the sales. But here's what we know. If you continue with this and this every single week, minimum. And you know what? This doesn't factor in promotions. If you're doing this, you're going to get promoted, right? You're going to get a couple promotions. But this is not factoring in any of that. So don't get emotional about the results. Get emotional about the activity. No matter what, blinders on. This and this. And you are going to win. That is a guarantee. You are going to win. This and this every single week. And you're going to be there.